I'll say thank you to all the Marquette fans that came out to support us today here in DC. It was really cool having them behind us. It's not easy to go on the road and win, particularly when you get to this time of year. And I thought our guys took a really good approach towards this game. Starting last night when we landed, we came over here, and you could just see there was very good energy that they had. Our guys really like each other and they get along well. That's our number one advantage on our team. Thought we passed the ball well. Today we had, a few turnovers we'd like to have back, but overall our guys really shared the ball well. And, it shows up in the stat sheet with everybody other than Oso making a three. We got a lot of good looks from outside. And that allowed us to play very efficiently on offense. Defensively, we were up and down. Georgetown did a great job attacking and getting to the foul line. So there's a lot of stuff we need to continue to get better there. But I did think our energy on the defensive end was overall very good. And I thought the job that the guys did on Spears and Murray was significant and important, because those are two guys that if you allow them to get going, they can really hurt you.
Shaka, you talked the last couple games about getting stuck playing one-on-one too much. 5 guys in double figures, I think 4 assists today. How were you guys able to facilitate like that? What was different today?
Well, I thought our guys moved the ball better. Tyler really helps, and Oso helps. I thought Oso, you could just see from the start he was in a better place than he's maybe been the last couple of games. And that's such a huge key for us because we play through him so many times. I mean, if you went and count the possessions in the game where he's involved in the action, it's almost every time when he's on the floor. So him being in a good place and being aggressive was big. We were able to get in the paint a lot and then create the type of shots that we wanted to get.
When did you learn Wahab was unavailable, and what do you think the impact of his unavailability was?
Just right before the game, we planned on him being in their starting lineup like he's been, and when they came in and told me he was unavailable, we just told our guys, it really doesn't change anything from our standpoint. But he's a good player. I mean, he's obviously done a lot of productive things here. I think one of the hard things for Georgetown is they've had so many games where 1 or 2 or 3 different guys were not able to play. And then they've gone through stretches where, those guys have been sidelined. I think when you got a lot of new guys on your team, you need sustained stretches of them all playing together. But I thought Georgetown did a good job of playing with aggressiveness with who they had. They never gave up. They continued to battle. We got the lead up to 25 and they were able to cut it down. So credit to their kids for the way that they continue to battle.
Cam knocked down 2 early threes. When he's rolling, is his confidence just contagious? You see the 3-point numbers for your team today?
Well, yeah, I mean, when he's able to shoot the ball in, it's a big EGB for our team. I think the fact that we had 8 different guys make a 3, it says something about our defense, or our offensive versatility, also the way that they share the ball with each other. But Cam, he's such a threat from out there, and he took 9 threes today, and I thought he passed up a couple. I told him, shoot it 15 times from out there if you can, because that's a high quality shot for us.
Guys are improving under your tutelage. Obviously, it's an institutional or cultural thing. Talk about establishing a culture where guys take it to heart and improve themselves and others, because they're working on each other as well.
Well, we believe that player development and personal development are completely intertwined. And so our guys have improved on the floor, but first and foremost, they've grown as people. All the elements of character and competitive character that go into being able to function, first, even in preparation for a Big East game, and then in the midst of a Big East game. So that's credit to our guys and then our assistant coaches and coaching staff, the way that those guys have all worked together to develop in areas like resiliency, toughness, readiness, teamwork, communication. Those are all parts of development that help you go score more points or get more rebounds. And then our guys' work ethic has been really good. So they've worked on things like outside shooting, ball handling, passing, all the defensive areas where we need to grow and continue to need to grow. But I think that's the biggest reason that our guys have grown is they've had a commitment to each other and a commitment to their own growth. Well, I think the number one way to incentivize growth is to recruit driven people. Your culture, 90% of it is who you add and subtract from your program. So I think we've done a pretty good job making sure we have the right people that are driven to grow, that we don't have to drag, along every single day. Guys are self-motivated. I mean, we'll be off tomorrow, and the majority of our guys will be through the gym, getting shots up, working on their free throws, taking care of their bodies, doing the things they need to do. So that's not really anything that we've done to incentivize them, other than we try to recognize and celebrate when they do make growth.
Shaka, you mentioned you guys did well when you got in yesterday. As a group, did you guys watch Xavier?
Yeah.
How do you kind of deal with that? I mean, obviously you're focused on this game, but human nature, you guys are the top league. They're there. I mean, how do you deal?
So we came over here and we had a shoot around, and then we went to the hotel and we had dinner. And normally when we're eating, we'll throw up just a college basketball game. If there's a Big East game on, we'll put that on. But if not, whoever's playing and whoever's on TV. So that game was, 6-8 minutes left in regulation when we started eating dinner. And at first it was on and guys were just kind of eating and talking. And then as the game got closer to the end, guys were locked in and they were like calling out what might happen because we played both teams, and they're talking about different personnel on their teams and what they do. And then it was a really interesting finish to the game with some of the things that happened. And we've always tried to use other games to learn from. So our guys were like talking about, well, when you're in this situation, we got to do this. Obviously there was a little bit of human nature there as the game wound down, just because our guys know the standings. I was a little concerned just with it being on. Hey guys, we don't want to focus too much on Xavier. Our next opponent after this game, we should be focused on Georgetown. But at the same time, I thought that game was a very good example of, you get to February in the Big East and you go on the road as quote unquote one of the top teams that quote unquote should win. And it's not guaranteed to you. I mean, you've got to do everything that goes into it over the course of 40 minutes. And so that was a good kind of message and lesson for our guys going into today.
Coach, you've been doing this a while, and you've only won more than 12 conference games once in your career. Looks good now. You're 12-3 with 5 regular season games left. My question, is it too early to say this is one of, if not the best teams you've ever coached?
I didn't know that. This is definitely one of my top 2 favorite teams I've ever coached. Now, sometimes your favorites are not necessarily the best, or they don't necessarily do the best. But, these guys, they really care about one another. They really try to follow the game plan. As we talked about, they're dedicated to their own growth and the growth of the team and their teammates. So I think all those things go into being a successful team. We were picked 9th in the Big East. And, when they do the preseason prognostications, it's largely based on who you have coming back, who you have coming in, and then, I guess the status of your program in other people's eyes. So, we use that to say, hey, we feel like we're better than this, and we feel like we can be better than people think. And now we're at a point where maybe people are saying we should win certain games now. It's still on us to go and play the way that goes into winning. So, yeah, I mean, we've got 5 regular season games left, then the postseason. So, I mean, we're just kind of getting started. We've got a lot of hunger for what's coming. We understand there's going to be challenges moving forward, and this league is really, really tough, but we just try to take it one game at a time and then learn from the last game and be ready to go the next time.
Jonathan, you talked about learning from the last game. You guys obviously did coming off the loss today.
Yeah.
But now with 20 wins, you go back in first place in the conference. How is this team equipped to handle the rest of the way heading into the tournament?
I think the biggest thing that equips our team is actually the experience that we had last year, with our returning players. Our freshmen obviously weren't part of the team last year, but everyone else, other than Zach Reitzel, who's out with an injury, all the rest of our guys that are playing went through a season in which we had a red hot 8-1 stretch in Big East play over the month of basically January, early February. And then we finished 3-6 over the course of the rest of our Big East games, the Big East tournament, and the NCAA tournament. And so we talked about that a lot last spring and last summer, that, hey, guys, why did we finish 3-6? What went into that? What can we learn from that? And so to me, if we can take that experience, that's why history is so valuable. If you're willing to have the humility to learn from it, and look at, okay, how can we be better this time around? I think if we can do that, then this team is better equipped to play well down the stretch.